Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jake and Jenna English. I'm Jake Matthew, and it's great to have you here for episode 2. Today, we're going to talk about a huge problem that almost every English learner faces, and this problem is translating in your head. If you want to speak English fluently, you need to stop translating. I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So let's jump right in. First, let me explain what I mean by translating in your head. Here's what happens. You want to say something in English, but first you think of the sentence in your native language. Then you translate each word into English. Then you speak. For example, maybe you want to say, "I'm hungry," but in your mind, you first think in your language, then you translate, "I am hungry." This happens in just a few seconds, but it's a big problem. Let me tell you why. The first problem is speed. Translation makes you slow. When you translate, you need extra time. You need time to think in your language, time to translate, and then time to speak. But native speakers don't do this. They think and speak at the same time. The words just flow naturally. If you keep translating, you'll always have a delay. You'll always be a little bit slow when speaking. The second problem is that translation makes mistakes. Here's the thing. Every language is different. The grammar is different, the word order is different, the expressions are different. When you translate word by word, you often create sentences that sound strange or incorrect in English. For example, in some languages, you might say, "I have hunger" instead of "I'm hungry." If you translate directly, it sounds unnatural. The third problem is the biggest one. Translation stops you from becoming fluent. Real fluency means thinking in English. It means the English comes automatically, without translation. As long as you translate, you'll always feel like you're working hard when you speak. You'll never feel natural and comfortable. So the question is, how do we stop translating? How do we start thinking in English? Don't worry, I'm going to give you 5 practical ways to do this. These are methods that really work. Method number 1 is use simple English in your mind. When you practice thinking in English, start simple. Don't try to think complex thoughts. For example, look around you right now. Describe what you see using simple words. I see a table. The table is brown. There's a cup on the table. The cup is white. Do this every day. Describe your surroundings in simple English. This trains your brain to think directly in English. Method number 2 is talk to yourself in English. I know this sounds a little crazy, but it works. When you're alone, narrate your life in English. For example, when you're cooking, say, "Now I'm cutting the vegetables. I'm putting them in the pan. I'm adding some salt." When you're getting dressed, say, "I'm putting on my shirt. Now I'm looking for my shoes." This is like having a conversation with yourself. It's safe, private, and very effective. Method number 3 is think in English key words, not full sentences. You don't always need complete sentences in your mind. Sometimes just key words are enough. For example, if you're thinking about lunch, just think hungry, maybe pizza, or sandwich. These are English words, but you're not translating. You're using English directly for your thoughts. This is a great first step towards thinking completely in English. Method number 4 is learn phrases, not individual words. This is super important. When you learn phrases, you don't need to translate. For example, instead of learning the words make and decision separately, learn the phrase make a decision together. When you need it, the whole phrase comes to your mind automatically, no translation needed. The more phrases you know, the less you'll need to translate. Method number 5 is immerse yourself in English as much as possible. The more English you hear and read, the more your brain will start thinking in English naturally. You don't have to force it. This happened to me when I learned other languages. At first, I translated everything, but after months of immersion, I started dreaming in that language. That's when I knew my brain was thinking in it. Now, I want to be honest with you. Stopping translation takes time. You won't change overnight. Your brain has a habit of translating, and habits take time to break. But if you practice these methods every day, you'll notice progress, maybe in a few weeks, maybe in a few months. You'll catch yourself thinking in English without trying, and that feeling is amazing. All right, let's review what we learned today. We talked about why translating in your head is a problem. It makes you slow, it creates mistakes, and it stops you from becoming fluent. Then we learned 5 methods to stop translating. Use simple English, talk to yourself in English, think in key words, learn phrases, and immerse yourself in English. My challenge for you this week is this. Practice talking to yourself in English for just 5 minutes every day. Describe what you're doing. Describe what you see. Use simple words. Don't worry about making mistakes. This simple exercise will start training your brain to think in English. Thank you so much for listening to episode 2 of Jake and Jenna English. I hope this episode was helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and share this podcast with your friends who are learning English. Remember, stop translating and start thinking in English. It's the key to real fluency. I'm Jake Matthew, and I'll see you in the next episode. Keep practicing, and goodbye.